Hey, I am live. I don't know if this is using the beat. I think so, but I still don't know. Oh my gosh, Patrick, you're live before you even cut on your virtual camera through OBS. Yes. Why? That's the vibe today. How many times have I said that? Well, the vibe today, the vibe today. The vibe today of all days, unlike any other day. Today, the vibe is Iced Coffee Chronicles. Our number one fan said something about this, so I guess I'm gonna fix it. Um, oh, see, but I still have to. Is it better if there's nothing? Is it better to have something or nothing? Does it depend on what it is? See, this is too. It's too much. Then it's just like I'm a floating head. For reference, this is what I'm talking about. We're gonna get into this one slowly. Today, I don't know if I put requested too much syrup or if the person who was making my iced coffee was a little heavy-handed with the syrup, but it's so syrupy, not sweet, because it's an unsweetened syrup, unsweetened flavor. It's just like syrupy. So I have to get some water to cut the iced coffee. And now I'm like redrawing the lines and carving out space in this video. Honestly, the blue and the brown doesn't bother me as much as it bothers her. And with my hair like this, with my hair so high today, it's like I take up even more of the frame, you know? Like this feels appropriate, but this is way too much. I don't know. We do our best today. Like every day, we do our best. See, I mean, I guess this is fine. I guess it is what it is at this point, huh? Um, let's see, and then I need to turn this light on so you can actually see me. So you can actually see me. If that's my number one fan texting me talking about, I can't see your video. Oh gosh. Then I'm gonna have some choice words for her. See? I knew it. I knew it. SMH. How did I know? How did I know? Eve, how art thou today? Yeah, this is so we got I'm using a deck that you gifted me. I'm gonna use the End Dream Oracle. The number today is 2895, which is 28 is a 10, 95 is a 14, so 24, right? 5, 9, 14, 8, 22, 2, 4, 24. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to, well, 24. I already added them up. So I'm going to I'm using the In Dream Oracle deck and guidebook, In Dream Oracle deck, and the Tarot of Dreams. See, I could have used the Dreams of Gaia, but I don't have it. I wanted to use it today. I'm so sad I don't have it. But oh well. But oh well, but oh well, but oh well. I'm shuffling this deck up. The King of Wands is at the bottom. The Fool and the Ten of Cups fell out with the Moon at the bottom of the deck. I guess tomorrow is a full moon. Uh, Full moon Aries, and I've been thinking about the hypocrite. Hey, Holly, how you doing? I've been thinking about the hypocrite, and I feel like there are some times when I'm reading where I know what something means for me, but I don't necessarily know what it means, like collectively. You know what I mean? Um, and it's not to say that they're necessarily inherently different, but the things that mean something to me mean it to me because of the context that I have with myself along my own life and journey, right? Um, and so, wait, I'm like confused. There we go. And so, yeah, I've also recently discovered that I have a two-part my journey sometimes my development. There you go. My development is in two parts. There will be things that I dream that it's almost like once I see it in a dream, then it's like unlocked. And then there's the side of the choices and decisions that I make in real life. More so who I choose to be based upon the situations and encounters that I find myself in real life. And it's who I choose to be that almost like further develops or specializes some things. And so again, it's like, well, I know what this means for me, but regardless, I was gonna look before and after the Hierophant in the SKT, Vitruvian, and Revelation in terms of like because I'm such a big like this is something within self that is between self and the divine. So there is no Hierophant, there is no guide that can go beyond certain precipices because it's literally like whatever. Now, just because that's my take on it, or just because that's how I feel, doesn't mean that it's true. Maybe it just means that I'm not supposed to, whatever, because that's not my gift, my charge, my duty, my purpose, my function, my role. Um, but anyway, we're just gonna go purely off the iced coffee today. And I wanted to use some decks that I haven't had access to. Even though the Fable Makers animated tarot is kind of calling me back a little bit. I feel like I use that deck so much that I don't get burnt out, but I'm like, I need different whatever source material. And then I'm away for a little bit and I want to go back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shuffle this and we're gonna pull the 24th card. Ooh, okay. We'll pull the 24th card and the cards before and after number 24. 2 plus 8 is, yeah. So 10, 19, 24. So that's what we're going to do. Oh, snap with LED headlights and new wiper blades. There you go. There you go. I know my mom's car. Like, I think they're LED headlights, maybe. But it's like when the brights come on, it is so bright. It's so bright. I'm like, I can see in the dark. And I love it. I love it. All right. That's what we're gonna do. And we're just gonna see we're just gonna see where this goes. That's the name of the game today. And I'm cutting it with wire, whatever that means. All right. So I was like, am I the hypocrite? Because I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what it means collectively. I know what it means for Patrick. Life is wild. Yeah, there's probably too many different syrups. And I think I got two sugars last time. So maybe the extra sugar balanced it out. Me no. All right. Are we ready? I'm ready. Let's go. Oh, I almost want to pray before we get into this today. I'm sure it's not going to be that big. Maybe it's just to be more mindful, more demure, more cutesy, less fiery. Do what you must and come what may. Wow. At the bottom of the deck. Okay. We're gonna look from the top. So I guess I'm gonna count and look for number 24. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Excuse me, 21, 22, 23, 24. Before this one, I don't know if I've ever seen. I haven't used this deck 222 to 22222 much since I got here. But yeah, did you say your birthday was the 21st? Question mark. I'm trying to like 20th. Okay. I don't know why. Every now and then I go live and I'm like, I don't know why I do the things that I do sometimes. I don't always make the best choices. And clearly this is one of them. Ah, okay. No pressure, no pressure. We're live. Come on, don't embarrass me. Okay. We find our way to something more often than not. So we have 6, 24, 27. This was the 19th, 20th, and 21st cards. I'm pretty sure. So we're looking at these two specifically, and then this one. This is just the significator. That's number 24. So, and I feel like there's an element every time I use these, there's an element that like never makes an appearance. But today, the colors are looking different. So I think we actually got all four elements, which again is a milestone achievement in this deck. 6, 21, 24, 27. I'm just looking at the elements first. So we have fire, air, earth, and water. So we got all four elements. We did. We did. We did. We did. Uh, so the fire and action of looking for harmony and balance. How am I going to read this? So this is the fire of harmony and balance. And it says resolve a conflict and come to an agreement. The quote is always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them more. And then on the other side, we have 27, which is the water of perceiving, learning, and being aware. This says be open to new impressions and interesting information. We do not remember days, we remember moments. Interesting. Be open to new impressions and interesting information, resolve a conflict, and come to an agreement. That almost implies that something is, well, yeah, it implies that something has changed, right? We do not remember days, we remember moments. That's almost like a very Six of Cups upright and reverse nostalgia trauma energy. It's like if we have a certain, especially a strong impression of something, we often recollect the moments that reinforce that impression and tend to forget the ones that don't. So if there's something or someone that we don't like for whatever reason, what sticks strongest in our memory tends to be all of the times the moments that, even like moments within a good day, the moments that it's like this and this and this and that's the reason why, whatever. Or with the lens of nostalgia, we look back on something in the past. It's like, oh, that was such an amazing time in my life, or that was the best whatever I've ever experienced. But we don't necessarily remember the moments that made it not great, which may have been the reason why things didn't ultimately work out. Interesting information. I know 24 isn't the whatever, but I'm gonna read it. That's conceive, create, and implement the earth of conception, creation, and implementation. I mean, when it comes to any of that, I feel like earth would be great to make it real. Start a new project, follow your dream, live as if you were to die tomorrow, learn as if you were to live. So that's these. The 24th card of 21 is air, because we've had fire, water, and earth. So interesting that all four elements were like are represented today. Because again, I've used this. I feel like every time I have used it, we've gotten like three elements: conception, creation, implementation. The air of conception and creation implementation. Air is great, especially on the conception. New creative opportunities come up. You will meet like-minded people. Opportunities don't happen; you create them. New creative opportunities come up. Be open to new impressions and interesting information. Resolve a conflict and come to an agreement. It feels like the resolution does indeed come first. It's like, or can you like pre resolve an energy? That one Pisces video, I knew that Pisces was not getting a treat. Like the pre trick, I was like, if you get a pre trick, you're going to get tricked in the end. You don't, no one comes back from a pre trick ever. um, but it's so it's almost like something is pre-resolved. It's resolved enough. Like it feels like what's being asked for is for us to be open enough to the possibility of to get a new impression, a different impression, or be open to interesting information. Interesting information. It feels like it's something that aligns with, um, like there's something new. So it's almost like there's a new endeavor that you want to embark upon, and for example, this is an example, it's a metaphor, take it as it resonates, if it resonates, when it resonates, and always, always, always use your intuition and discernment. But it's almost like, say there's something new that you want to do, and there is someone of the past that you know of. Now, this past person could be, it's almost like, I don't even know if the past person is some kind of conflict or drama, It could be like there was someone that you used to work with, and the environment was like toxic AF, or things ended in a not great way. So it was like, in order to not even think of the environment, anyone associated with that place, you kind of avoid. But maybe one day you're out and you bump into somebody and they're like, "Oh yeah, like I left too, and this is what I'm doing now." And you're like, "Oh, interesting, because I've been thinking about whatever." Right? So that, like, that's the interesting information to be open to. And then there's that new creative opportunity that'll come up. You'll find that you, like, it says what, like-minded people, you will meet like-minded people. Again, that's that, like, they're doing something which is something that you want to do. Or it could just be like an arena or an environment. So like it doesn't have to be someone that you work with. Maybe it's like people that you've met in a certain environment, right? Like the bar, I don't know. Everyone I meet at the bar is like blah 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 whatever. But then one day you go to the bar and there's like someone else who just happens to be at the bar at the same time and they don't like going to bars either, you know? And it feels like the openness and the like-mindedness, that's what cements the resolution. So like after it sort of plays out a little bit, that's when you like come to an agreement with the terms of life, honestly. Um, how life may bring you to a certain familiar space, even if it's not the same place. How life may bring you to a familiar space, but you can see that it presents a different opportunity. And that's again like when it's all like, as you get further into it, that's what cements the resolution, and that's what allows you to come to an agreement, and it's almost like the agreement is an acknowledgement of old terms and a beginning of new terms. I don't know. It's like if you think of things as contracts, it's like you're simultaneously signing a contract to end an old term and signing a new contract to begin a new one, or a different phase. Maybe there's something that's like benchmark, and so you sign off on the benchmarks within that broader contracted whatever. I don't know how contract works. Something like that. But again, it feels like in the beginning, like it comes full circle to the fire of harmony and balance. But or maybe that's just how I'm because of how I am or who I am. But that's how I'm receiving it. It starts with an ask of being open, then it works around to the point where you're like, okay, I can agree to this. It's like, just like again, open. So not many treats, all tricks. I'm not surprised. I almost feel like that's related to a retrograde because that's almost how Mercury retrogrades play out or used to play out for me. Like at the beginning of Mercury retrograde would be presented with something. I would take my time to work through it, and then something would happen where I would need to use what it is that Mercury retrograde had brought to my attention earlier. So that by the end of Mercury retrograde, it's almost like there's a knot that would tie, and then it doesn't go before the knot anymore. So as life continues to whatever and play out, it doesn't go from where the like before that was tied. Anyway, I probably because I'm still gonna pull the pro on this, so I don't. I feel like I read it, but for clarification, I guess. I'm gonna pull the second card, the eighth card, the ninth card, and then the fifth card, respective to previous cards. So eighth from the second, ninth from the eighth, fifth from the ninth. Four cards. Good shuffle or a shuffle. Okay, we got our first clean flip, and guess what card came? The moon. If I can pick it up. And there's a portal in the moon. and there's these two sort of guardians, and maybe the bottom of the deck is the world. Interesting. There was a lot of Pisces. Um, the moon was at the bottom of the deck. The Ten of Cups came out, which was Mars and Pisces, and then the Fool was there, which is Aquarius. And when I like went to put the cards back in the deck, I didn't see the card, but it was another energy of Pisces. So it was probably the Eight or the Nine of Cups. Um, but it's like almost going back to what I was saying earlier about like there are the things that happen in dream and then the choices and decisions that I make in real life, and they both together sort of like walk me forward in my own growth, development, maturity journey, whatever. It's like I don't know if it's a lesson or a gift of both the wolf and the dog that allows passage up this portal where the bats are like coming in. And it's almost like there's a light that's out of this portal. So it's chasing out the presence and light is chasing out the bats, chasing out shadow, chasing out the vampires, Halloween. Or that could be like from the full moon Pisces lunar eclipse. I mean, we've already had the solar eclipse, so it does feel like though there's some kind of resolution between these two. And then see with that almost that's also the blue of this portal. It makes me think of was it Enter the I think it was. Bless you. Enter the Enigma is in between Impossible Inferno and Friendly Ghost. This is an es- from something that is all consuming. See the blue of that Enter the Enigma feels like it's similar to the blue of this moon, but there's something on the other side of this portal that is shining a light through the portal. You can find it. I don't like this is a light that's being shown through. And I was thinking about the reading I did last time, last ICC, and how like when I was thinking about it after I did it, there were so many references within them. Like if you think of the magician in the mirror, he's holding the ice separate from the fire. And again, that was like separating the yang from the yin, essentially. There was something else and something else I don't forgot now. Um, I mean, hey, that's the thing about those LED lights, though. It's that like they were so bright that it almost made the nighttime day. But in the daytime, everything is illuminated under the LED lights. It's just like whatever they sort of hit touch. Okay. So from the top, I'm pulling these. Also, the moon here, nighttime dreaming. We dream at night. Some of us dream during the day too. 2, 8, 9, and 5. So 1, 2, One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine. One, two, three, four, five. King of Coins, Death, Ten of Coins, and the Palace of Swords. And the world is here again at the bottom. At the bottom of the end dream was do what you must and come what may. There is almost an energy of like, this is such an interesting Three of Coins. And then this is a Sarah Machete deck, so of course you see like his initials on every single card. Mars and Capricorn and Saturn. Do what you must and come what may. It almost like there is an ability of the world to heal itself, to mend itself, or there's an ability of the world to find balance, to balance itself. Given enough time, it will always find an equilibrium. And so, and so what, Patrick? And so what? And so, easy. And so, it's almost giving me it's like when something is setting. So like you have wet cement or concrete, and it's like you put a post or a pole in the ground or something like that. The concrete, the cement will set around the thing. And so there's an energy of it that could be this King of Pentacles. It's almost a little bit more Emperor, where it's like to hold such firm presence and to be to be unyielding to the point where like the world has to conform around something. But the world is also Earth is also a powerful force, the creator, the will of creation, will of the creator that is imbued into the creation is also very powerful. And there are plenty of things that have crumbled. So there's that. Um, this is interesting because we moved to Taurus Scorpio from fixed Earth, Taurus to Scorpio, almost as like the highest position that Taurus can hold without entering the realm of the major arcana or before the realm of the major arcana. I feel like there's always a sign that's missing. So we got Aries, Cancer, Capricorn, and Libra. Fixed signs are here. Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus. Fixed signs are here. Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius. Pisces is the one that's not here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Pisces is not here on this golden snake, unless you can see it. And I'm just missing it. But Pisces is present on the wheel in the sky behind this King of Coins. Then we have the Ten of Pentacles, which is like this portal, this open door, this gateway. It's a very, you collect all of the coins, all of the jewels, all of the gems. I forget the word. I read the word so much when I was reading the David Bad trilogy. It's like pockets and sockets in a wall that something goes in because they were empty ones. The temples had been looted and robbed of their jewels or whatever. Um, but it's like but that's I see a very similar energy has been coming out with the Judgment card, specifically in the Revelations edition of the Spirit Keepers Tarot, where it's like you put all of the orbs in their place. Now, in that, it's like you put the 10th orb of Malkut under your side and it lights up and something. But it's very similar here. It's like you put these 10 orbs in their place on this maybe stone or oaken door, and then this portal opens up. And then you end up in the Palace of Swords, which is interesting. Well, maybe it isn't because the universe is mental. So, what other powers you awaken to after having assembled the 10 pentacles of Earth? I want to see if the Palace of Swords is in House of Cups, Palace of Swords. This card shows an environment that promotes clear thinking in the cold, crisp air. The structures rise above the obscuring mist out our thinking. Okay, rising above, clearing up the fog, clearing up the clouds. She's on brand. And are built as observation decks for the purpose of efficient perception rather than luxurious living. The many wings suggest the mind's ability to overcome emotional biases and attain a global perspective. Overcoming biases, attain a bigger perspective again, with the end dream of being open to resolving something. And then I'm gonna just read the cards because why rely on my memory if I don't? Right. What was it? 27. Be open to new impressions and interesting information. 25 is the air of perceive, learn, and be aware. Change of perception, examine your worldview. And that was the card that was after. Examine your worldview. The mind is everything, what you think you become. Uh, but the more global perspective, new creative opportunities come up, you will meet like minded people. Oops. With the King of Coins, I almost want to say there is a tenfold process. Each of these coins, it's like we saw the three of coins. It's in the midst of the deck now. We saw the three of coins. It's like we go from some position to king. It could be like ace to king, ace of pentacles to pentacles, two of pentacles to the king of pentacles, three of pentacles to the king of pentacles, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. We walk each of those pinnacles to the king. And once the king to the door, it's like on the first pinnacle, he went from ace to and then he carried that 10, the page carried that 10 to the position of the king. Again, the highest seat you can go, the highest position, the highest seat that can be attained before entering the realm of the major arcana. and dropped that pinnacle. And then it went from the two of pentacles to the king and the three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. And on that last pinnacle, it's like every time something was transformed in part. But after this 10th and final pinnacle has been carried to the highest position, that's when this unlocks. And someone ends up in the palace of swords. It feels like the Palace of Swords could be one of the last waypoints before someone enters the realm of the majors. I don't know. Like someone's learned all that they can in life, or all that was for them to learn in life, in a way that is very like practical. Also, in this 10 of coins, we see these two stone faces on the sides. Remind me of the wolf, the dog. But it's like after we've completed all that is for us to complete, after we've learned all of our lessons, these faces sort of like come alive. And maybe this is like we get to see ourselves in a certain completeness, both the, like you can say the best and worst of who we are. Uh, you could say the primal and the whatever is the opposite of primal. But every time we take a pinnacle, it opens our perspective. This is Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury rules Virgo. So, Taurus, Scorpio opposition, but with the Mercury trine and sextile. Air is also the Fool. So, this is like where the Fool takes its sleep. Above the clouds, above obscurity, it is fully like when the Fool takes its sleep, it is in a space of clarity. The fool has clarity with what it is that the fool is about to do. The fool may not necessarily know what's coming in, but has clarity. It doesn't necessarily mean the fool knows everything. I have no doubt. They are clear. And it's like every time the pinnacle is deposited here, so it closes that opposition more and more and more as it comes into Virgo. The sex of the Scorpio trying to Taurus. That could also be like what's chasing the bats out of this portal. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. There are eight bats. Two, four, six, eight. There are eight bats, but 10 pinnacles. Again, it feels like it's that energy of enter the enigma. There was something about entering the enigma where it almost comes prematurely. And maybe that goes back to an energy of something like incidental healing. There were 10 lessons that we needed to learn metaphorically. Again, take it as it resonates. If it resonates, if it doesn't resonate, don't take it. There were 10 lessons that we need to learn. And somehow, in the process of chasing after these eight bats, we learned these other two lessons without having to devote time and energy to specifically learn that lesson. Two of these are incidental from the eight that we've already done. And again, we started at the three of pentacles. So we skipped the ace and the two. We skipped two of them. So we go three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10. That's the eight. We started at the three. So there are two that we like skip. There are two pinnacles that we skip. There are two bats that we don't have to free. There's one sign that's not present on this snake of death, and it's the sign Pisces. Probably, maybe because of the transitory nature, the in betweenness of Pisces. But also, there was a whole bunch of Pisces that we saw with this moon card, the Ten of Cups that came out with the Fool before I even went live. Excuse me. It's almost like, again, with this Palace of Swords, with this clarity, once we begin to understand, really understand, once we begin to fully, really understand enough of something, we can start to get an idea of the nuances without, again, having to specifically be told. Like, maybe not the best example, but there was somebody that I was working with, and we would talk every now and then, and he would be like, "Oh, I used to do this, but I like got overstimulated, or like I can't listen to these things because whatever." And then after a few months of like talking to this guy, he told me that he was on the spectrum. And he was like, "Did I tell you that?" And I was like, "No, you didn't tell me, but like I pretty much guessed." And I didn't guess or assume because of, I inferred because of what he said, like being overstimulated and like all of these other things. Like, again, like you don't, if you get enough of the picture, you kind of sort of get it. Which for us may be a good thing because there are certain uh Sephira on the Kabbalah tree of life, like Keter, that are just like unknowable. Like there are certain aspects to the totality of the experience that either can't necessarily be communicated or that are very nebulous and almost like abstracted and vague. I think though, then there comes a point where it's almost like it's presented to us this option of like, well, you know enough to move on to the next level or whatever. Are you ready? And then maybe there's some like imposter syndrome, whatever, or like, well, I've only done 8 out of 10, and whatever. I don't know. Again, when we enter the enigma, there's something that we learn through being in the enigma. That's what makes it feel so almost trickstery or chaotic. So, see ya, E. Thanks for stopping by. I also have to go to the restroom. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to the restroom and then I'll come back and we'll do final thoughts. Well, I'm back. Wow, Patrick, that was like quicker than usual. It was occupied, so we're gonna do our. Um, oh my gosh. Oof. Okay, yeah, no. I take it back. Just hound myself a little bit, if you know, if you know what I mean. Oh goodness! If you don't know what I mean, don't read too far into it. It's fine. All right, final cards. I feel like there was like decent pacing on this one. There's gonna be iced coffee left at the end of this ICC, probably. Maybe. Maybe not now that I'm back. All right. Final end dream card. So the thing, maybe there's another thing too of um skipping two of the pinnacles, of grounding eight, but the door's still opening. There are two things that are because we're being asked, not asked, we're being presented the opportunity of experiencing something new. And it's almost like if we it's almost like if we earth too much, especially in previous experiences and the way things used to be, it makes it more difficult for us to adjust to how things will be. Right? It's almost like there comes a point, there's a line of variable thickness or thinness between like intuition and pattern recognition, between discernment and survival instincts of like I've seen this before, I know how this plays out, I know how this works, and like a true not authentic, but a true like intuitive experience. And sometimes depending, yeah, we're gonna finish this. Sometimes depending, it can be more or less easy to differentiate because oftentimes they align. right? But when things are different, when things have changed, when it is time to be open to some new and interesting information, our intuition will tell us, oh, this is like new and interesting. There's something different. Something about this isn't going to play out how it usually plays out or how it always plays out. But survival instinct, egoic pattern recognition is going to go, well, if it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and looks like a duck, it's a duck. Well, actually, this is the ugly duckling, right? This is the swan that was raised around ducks. So it has made itself look like a duck, and it quacks like a duck because that's the only language it's been exposed to. And it walks like a duck because that's the only way that anyone else like walk. You know what I mean? But it's like she's actually a swan. She just doesn't know. What is that? She doesn't know that I know. Yeah, I watch Erica on TikTok. She tells me all the whatever legalese jargon, so I don't have to. She reads the fine print so that I don't have to. Yeah, that's what it is. But there comes a time again where they may lead us down different pathways because again something could be new, and the only way to know may be intuition, discernment. Um, could also be the vibe and other stuff, but yeah, like maybe there is such a thing as being too grounded. Mm, it depends on what we ground ourselves in. So I think that's it. That's why we like enter the enigma, because in the space of the enigma or within this enigmatic hallway transitory space, that's where we are sort of like unlearning the old, and the old is fading while simultaneously learning the new, and the new is coming in. So it's almost like this swirl of energies that is almost very Piscean in nature, but more so that space of like the realm of possibilities and potentialities, dreams and stuff like that. Because within that space, it's almost like all happening, where both are validated, the old and the new. But it's what we sort of focus on. So it's almost like it's theoretically possible to enter the enigma, but to hold on to all that we knew before. So we almost kind of make a U turn and we exit on the same side that we entered. But since we went through the enigma, we kind of just sort of assume that we're on the other side of it. And again, the thing itself is what metaphorical, um, meaning that it's so like subtle or whatever, but it's the enigmatic hallway portal is an opportunity to expand, to reach into the more and more subtle or the new. But again, it's our own alignment that determines the experience that we have. And it's an alignment beyond words and expressions and beyond learnings. It's an alignment of like embodiment and doing and like true believing of knowing, you could say. All right. That was a clean enough flip. And I think that was the same card that fell out. It is number 7. This is a card that fell out or made some noise. She's like, "You hear me?" Yeah, but I wasn't done talking. Bottom of the deck is number 36, which is unknown. My eye is drawn to the rose in this. 7 and 36. 7 is the water of harmony and balance. So we saw what the fire of harmony and balance earlier. Look for harmony and balance. Yeah. So this says resolve inner conflicts. So the fire implied an outer conflict, but it just says conflict. Resolve a conflict and come to an agreement. It doesn't specify. But water specifies resolve inner conflict. If you want to be somebody, somebody really special, be yourself. The iced coffee is gone because of course. And the bottom of the deck is 36, which is the earth dream. Talk about your dreams. The past cannot be changed. The future is yet in your power. Resolve inner conflicts. Cool. 1202. 1 o'clock. Excuse me. That's Zelda. Uh, is that? I feel like it's in the link to the past. Is that Hyrule Field? I think that's Hyrule Field, which is it speaks to open expanses and new journeys, leaving home for the first time, and knowing that there's a whole wide world out there. But it's also a junction point because it connects to different areas, different environments, different cities. Almost like an overworld type energy, maybe. I'm pretty sure that's Hyrule Field. I'm not trying to get. I'm not trying to have Nintendo coming after me because Nintendo was wild. And so I'm gonna mute this, but I'm pretty sure from that like 2 seconds, I'm pretty sure this is it. Pretty sure it was Hyrule Field. Um, but again, there's a certain expansiveness to Hyrule Field because that we're being asked to have because so many things can happen. Yeah. Now this deck, I must cleave in twain because it sits in half within its box. So, all right, I'll give it two more. Oh, that was the dirtiest split. The dirtiest split. Now I got Lon Lon Ranch coming into my brain. I felt like Lon Lon Ranch may have played in my mind before, or maybe it was just dude who was asleep with the cuckoos. No, that energy, that was an energy of almost a wild goose chase. So this for that and that for this. This continuous series of exchanges to get to something, some big prize. To know where what energy or thing connects to what, almost like a switchboard energy. And I thought of the guy because that was like the only series in the chain. There was a stationary that you give to the one guy that's stranded in the outhouse. there is the cuckoo egg that hatches into the cuckoo that wakes him up. I think his name is Tim. He was like asleep by the moat or whatever. The two cards that came out are the Page of Coins and the Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords, you can see most of Pisces, but it's more so in between Saturn and Capricorn. No, Capricorn and Aquarius. It's interesting though because the King of Coins, we saw Pisces. It was at the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces. The Knight of Swords, it's like it's approaching that cusp. So I almost feel like this is coming out to show that as we walk the pinnacles from ace to king, three to king, five to king, seven to king, nine to king, odds, I guess, uh, we experience multiple seasons as we do that. So we experience multiple elements. The element of earth is connected to all of the elements fire, water, and air because it is the balance of elements that allows earth to thrive. So again, there's something here too. Going back to journeys, um, there's a word that I don't know for when Amish people come of age, they get a year to go and experience the world outside of their communities and then decide if they like which life they want to live. It's like a gap year energy. Is it like a sojourn? Maybe not. It's not like a pilgrimage because a pilgrimage is so focused on one thing. Maybe like an open pilgrimage, but when I think of pilgrimage, yeah, that. Um, when I think of pilgrimage, I think like you go to some holy place. There's no point besides exploration in this. Um, so it starts, but it other elements. Ugh. A sojourn is a temporary stay. No, so it's not that. I mean, I guess you could stay at different places within that. So this could be a temporary stay in air. There's also something here about the many lives that we lead, right? Like this is an energy of someone who has done many things before they reach a point in their life or before they reach the end of their life. It's like, oh, I was a blacksmith's apprentice for a little bit, and then I got into politics. So I spent some time at the court with the nobles to learn about the higher workings. I worked with a farmer to learn how to till the land. I was a mercenary, sellsword. I was like, it's obviously like very high fantasy, but it's like just many things throughout life. So this was like the sojourn as the Knight of Swords. I'm trying to think. There are four times three is 12. So the knight, well, that's nine. Knight, king, queen of the elements of water, air, and fire. Anyway, the page of coins is going on top of the seven of cups. So again, it just feels like there are many things that have been experienced in life. This is like the energy of a full breadth of life and not just like one's own experience. The Knight of Swords goes on top of the Eight of Coins. And it feels like this 8 of coins, there's something about distilling knowledge, wisdom from certain experiences, but also trying to figure out like how it all comes together. So, that's it. I hope y'all have an amazing whatever it's all that you wish to. I feel like that just like so I don't know. I hope that you have an amazing whatever whenever you see this. I hope that you're acting in alignment to make all that you wish to experience your reality. I hope that whatever you need along your path, journey, and way you find. And until next time, this has been your ICC with me. Iced coffee flavor. There's nothing left. Thanks, Holly. Um, that's all I got.